These are some techniques that you can do to help release your diaphragm. Now, because the diaphragm is really dividing the two cavities here, the lumbar and the thoracic cavity, because the diaphragm is playing such an intrinsic role in breathing, in air pressure, and as the vocal cords are controlled through air pressure, any tension that we have or stiffness or tightness that we have in the diaphragm can then hinder our voice. Something I do come across in many of my one-to-one voice empowerment coaching clients is that they tell me they have the feeling they can't breathe below here. So if we imagine the lungs, diaphragm, and then the rest of the beautiful being here with all of the organs, and obviously the pelvic floor, which is playing antagonistically to the diaphragm and has a role in breathing, they're telling me that they're relatively blocked. And not always, but often this has to do with unnecessary tension that has crept into the diaphragm area. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a series of exercises that you can do to help release the tension that may be in the diaphragm, and to also help just activate and, let's say, supple up the diaphragm for optimal breathing. Optimal breathing for your life, optimal breathing for embodied empowered voice, embodied empowered vocalization. Okay, it's really good here if you're wearing some comfortable loose clothing. So if you're having something tight on, I would recommend pausing the video. Just put on something loose, a loose t-shirt. Please don't have any tight jeans or any tight yoga pants that might be sucking in your beautiful belly that should be allowed to flow freely in the world. Free the belly, hashtag. Okay, so let's do this. Finding your beautiful posture for me. We're looking at a grounded, stable, and open posture where the soles of the feet are underneath the hips, where we're extending up through the spine. We're letting the shoulders drop and soften. We're extending through the crown of the head towards the universe. And what we're going to do here is a diaphragm massage. This can be uncomfortable. I'm sorry we're doing this first. I do like to offer this first because in the case that someone is very tense here, everything else we do will support the diaphragm, but I feel and have experience with clients that it's a really great way when we get into the diaphragm through massaging it first to help already release some of that latent tension. If you try this with me and it feels really confronting, really uncomfortable, then please just skip ahead to the next exercise. As always, respect your boundaries, respect what your body is telling you. But if it is really uncomfortable and you feel like something is up, then I would recommend choosing one or two of the following exercises that come after it and practice them regularly, daily if you can, to help perhaps really start to train and loosen a diaphragm. We're going to go here with the two fingers. We're going to press in, and so what I'm doing is I'm finding the point of my ribs where they come together, and I'm pressing in my fingers, two fingers together, going up and under, and then I'm going to start palpitating. So I'm starting to massage under the ribs and up. This is where the diaphragm is located, and pressing. Try to keep your shoulders and your jaw soft. We don't want to have any other tension creep in. And I'm just going to slowly follow my rib cage all the way around, and I'm going to keep going with this movement. Pressing, pressing, up, up. Pressing, pressing, up, up. And just following it all the way around to the sides, and if I can to the back. And then I'll come back here. We could put on some nice music. And sometimes, like what I've just found, I've found a tense spot. And so I like to stay with the tense spot for a little bit longer and just very softly keep pressing that, see if I can help with some tension release there. Letting the shoulders be soft, the jaw is soft, the legs are stable but not locked. And coming back. And then shaking it out. I noticed that my arms got a little tense. Shaking it out. Seeing how that feels. If you need to make another movement adjustment, we are one somatic system, and through the fascial tissue connection, sometimes a tightness in the diaphragm might correspond to a tightness in the left shoulder. If you experience tightness when you press into one spot, then coming up in another part of your body, that's really quite normal. And again, this is information for your body. It's information telling you, hey, pay attention, there's a tightness here. I really recommend following that information and doing something about the tightness. The more you can free up space in your soma, the more you free up space for your voice. And that's what it means to have an embodied, empowered voice. All right, I'm going to shake that out. Feel free to do it with me if you like. And now I'm just going to start bouncing. My feet are connected to the ground. I'm not jumping off of my feet. And as I start doing this, I'm going to start blowing out. So it's blowing out over the mouth. As I kind of bounce my shoulders down, my knees bounce. I'll step back so you can see a bit better. Keep going. And then just find stillness. Come and stand in stillness. When you're standing in stillness, my invitation is feel into your soma. Feel into what's going on for you. What do you notice? What's happening? And coming back. Now we're going to step forward, and we're still going to bounce, and we're going to swing the arms. So it's like a 1, 2, back, 2. Step forward, 2, back, 2. 1, 2, back, 2. Step, bounce, bounce, back, 2. I'm continuing on the right foot, so I recommend start with 1 and continue on that same side. Bounce, bounce, step back. Bounce, bounce, step back. And now we're going to add that blowing over the mouth like we're blowing out a candle. It's important that you bounce. Switch sides. A few more. And stop. Feeling in to the body, space. What do you notice? Another nice activation exercise for the diaphragm is ha. So we breathe in and we bounce out ha, 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 ha. If you practice yoga, this is a little bit like the Kapalabhati breath. It's softer, but it's this active exhalation, which is where the belly is pushing in. So I'll just turn and show you what I mean. Ha, 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 ha. And just breathe naturally. When you need some breath, if you want to go slightly slower, try it slower. Ha, 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 and stop. Feeling into that space. And now take another deep breath, low into the belly. Sighing it out through the mouth. Again, deeper breath in. Letting it out in the way that you need. And now join me for a breath in for Om. Feeling into the space, what's happening in your soma. If you wish to, this could be a point where you now start to tone, where you turn off the video and sing your favorite song. I think it's a really interesting comparison to see how do I notice my voice after activating and releasing tension in my diaphragm as opposed to before. And to make that observation for yourself, what's happening on the different levels, the layers of your being, the physical, the emotional, the mental, spiritual. How does it feel? Does it feel freer, more expanded? Is there something else you need to do in order to help yourself? Always checking in.